Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Carrie with Pins and Books, and today we are doing our first Herkyed book review. So really excited for that. So the book I'm going to do is the first book I read for Herkyed, which is, let me put it back into frame here, Slave to Sensation by Nalini Singh. For Herkyed 2.0, it was a BIPOC author, and I can't remember the other one. Give me a second. So this was, for Herkyed 1.0, this was the S in the alphabet challenge. It was an S in the Pins and Books for the name. It was a fantasy book that I read for the genre challenge, as well as blue, because as you can see it is very, very blue. I know I have a lot of light kind of going off on it right now, so I apologize about that. For Herkyed 2.0, it was for the BIPOC author, because Nalini Singh is Indian and Fiji, and I please forgive me for getting some of this stuff incorrect. I'm not great at it. But anyway, the BIPOC author was Indo-Fuji. I want to say it's supposed to be say Fiji, not Fuji. But I'm looking at my tracker right now, and I feel like I got that spelled horribly wrong. And then it was By the Hundreds. On the By the Hundreds, it is a 300-page book, or just over 300 pages. So there she is. So the first thing about Slave to Sensation that is needed to know is that it is an urban fantasy. Okay. My brain just kind of left for a second there. Hold on. Alright, so this is an urban fantasy. You have three types of people in this world. You have the regular humans. You have the shifters. This will be your wolves, coyotes, panthers. As far as I'm aware, there's not a I don't know about coyotes. Let me correct that. I don't know about coyotes, but I believe leopard. Leopard was the other one. Well, technically panther is a leopard, I think. Don't quote me. And then, of course, you have also a mention of werewolves. And then you have your Sai, which are your psychic, kind of. They can talk to each other telepathically. You have your different variations of that. So your main female protagonist, who is Sascha Duncan, is a Sai. She's supposed to be like a cardinal level, which means she's extremely powerful, but she doesn't have the power to kind of go with it, if that makes sense. Like, she has the power, but it never developed. It never really developed into what they were wanting it to develop to. So she's not very high on the hierarchy. Even though she is a cardinal, which means she is supposed to be very high. Power level wise, she's like up here. Level wise of her actual like abilities is way down here. So a huge difference. And then her mother is just like 1 or 2 steps above her on the council of the race. Then you have your shifters. Now the Sais, think of the shifters as very beneath them. But you have your shifters who are essentially, if it were up to the Sai, yeah, I'm going to call them the Sai because I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If you had it up to the Sai, the whole world would be urban. It'd be essentially New York all over the dang world, which, no. I am personally not a big city gal, so. Versus you have the shifters who are protecting the world as best they can by having a separation of like the natural world versus your urban type settings. So you're first introduced to Sascha. She's in a meeting, or going into a meeting with her mother, But she has a small issue. The Psy have this thing against emotion. They feel like if you feel too much emotion, you're going to lose control, which of course is not good. The thing is that so she feels emotion. She feels it very, very strongly. So she has actually gotten to the point where she can build shield upon shield in order to protect her mind. She's even taught others how to build these shields for themselves so they can protect themselves from someone attacking their minds, which is, of course, their most valuable weapon. Then you have the shifters, who are very more in touch with their instincts, their primal side. You know, they're shifters. They are violent, so that is one thing that I will give to Nalani Singh, is that she made sure to keep in the fact that they are a violent people. While they are very loving, like if you notice, some books will have werewolves do a literal puppy dog pile, like they'll all crowd together in a huge bed and all like love on each other and such, but they are very dangerous. They are not dogs to be controlled. They are not tame. These are wild. Essentially, their other halves are their wild animals. And so you have this, the leader of the Dark River Leopard Changeling Pack, they're called changelings, not shifters, excuse me, is Lucas Hunter. And he's the alpha of the pack, of course. And so they are meeting with, her and her mother are meeting with Lucas in order to develop houses for shifters, for the changelings. Which is a very big thing. You know, they feel like this is going to be very beneficial for their business. That's just the first, 2-3 chapters. And it goes on, and it comes down to where Sascha develops more into herself, like who she is. She finds out more information about her past, her family history, which is just absolutely beautiful in my mind. Sorry. In my mind, she has done a lot for the community that she is in. Or they're hoping to build more. Her goal is essentially to. My brain is not wanting to comprehend what I'm saying. Her goal is to hide who she is. Eventually, she knows she's going to go to a sperm bank. She's going to have a child that way. But she doesn't know if she's going to end up doing that because of the fact that she feels like she is broken. And she really has to kind of come to terms without the fact that she's not broken. She's just something that they don't want to admit exists, essentially. Brain slowly shutting down as we go. So yes, this is a romance between Lucas and Sascha. And it's almost an enemies to lovers, but not quite. There were a few things about the book that I didn't really like. Like in the beginning, it was almost a little difficult to tell one point of view apart from the other. They seemed to flow into each other, but eventually they did kind of separate them out a little bit more, which I was extremely grateful for. I fell in love with this author with the Guild Hunter series that I am currently reading. I absolutely love this series. I love her writing style. So reading this book was an absolute thrill to me. This is a series I've been wanting to read for a while, so being able to read it for whatever prompt it was for. I don't even remember what prompt it was for at this point last month, but it was just absolutely wonderful. I fell in love with it. The start was not great. I will admit that. She does have a bit of a prologue. Hold on. It's just a quick 2-page prologue called Silence. And the first line is, in an effort to reduce the overwhelming incidence of insanity and serial killing in the Psi population, the Psi Council decided in the year 1969 to instigate a rigorous program called Silence. That is important to the story. Let me make this very clear. It is important to the story, but that little 2-page prologue is a little boring for me. But it is a lot of background information that you do need later on to the story. Or that I feel like you need later on in the story. The characters, I think, were extremely well done. A lot of them have just, like, more depth. Even your side characters seem to have a lot of depth in them. But I believe that the other books in this series are actually going to be taking place with some of the side characters in this book. So you're going to see the progression of not only these two characters, Sascha and Lucas, but you're going to see them from the perspective of their closest friends, family, things like that. But the whole point in this, one of the points in this one on Lucas's side, is that there is a serial killer, and it is a Psi serial killer. And you'll have the Psi Council essentially saying, oh no, there's no serial killer, they're covering it up. And you learn later on that since 1969, there has been more than one. And while they look at things, quote unquote, logically, me personally, looking at what they're doing is absolutely wrong. I don't agree with what they're doing. I was sitting there reading it and I'm just like, I don't get it. Looking at it logically, again, you have to read the book for yourself to decide whether or not you agree with, from their perspective, what they are doing. But the setting, everything I could see it perfectly in my mind. When I read, I see like a visual. So for me, I could see everything perfectly clear. This was just absolutely beautiful world building. The plot itself wasn't fabulous. It was definitely more focused on the romance, I think, or partially focused on the romance. It is also, it's an urban fantasy and a romance. But I'm not going to hold that against it, because everything else was really, really good. The plot was really good. The ending was phenomenal. And yeah, so I'm trying my best here to do a good book review. I don't think I'm doing very well. Sorry about the little yappy dog. If you guys can't hear her, I'm pretty sure you can. But yeah, Slave to Sensation, my first instincts on it is... Let's see, first off, I did get this book for free. It's not an ARC book. It's been out for a number of years now. But I did get it for free because I entered a competition. Not really a competition, but like a giveaway on Goodreads, and I got it, and I was really excited. So first off, thank you for the free book. I was super excited to read it. You should have seen me I was so confused when I first got it. It was hilarious. Turn my chair a little bit. There we go. Now you can see it a little better. Part of it's matching my background. I didn't realize that part of it was going to match my background. But yeah, so reading the back of it is you have aware that the ruling Psi punish any sign of emotion. Sascha Duncan must conceal the feelings that brand her as flawed. To reveal them would be to sentence herself to the horror of rehabilitation and complete psychic erasure of everything she is. Both human and animal, Lucas Hunter is alpha of the Dark River Leopard Changeling pack. After centuries of uneasy coexistence, the two races are on the verge of war after the brutal murders of several changeling women. Lucas is determined to find the Psi killer, and Sascha is his ticket to their guarded society. But it seems this ice-cold Psi is capable of passion, and the animal in Lucas is intrigued. Now caught between conflicting worlds, Lucas and Sascha must remain bound to their identities or sacrifice everything for a taste of the forbidden. This one is really good. I absolutely loved it. The prompts, the other Herkiad 1.0 prompt that this one covered was the other country settings or authors, because she is Indian and Fijian. I think she's currently in New Zealand. Last I heard on one of a bio that I looked up. So this covered that prompt as well. So this was the first one, or the second one technically, out of 5 that I have to do. But yeah, again, I really enjoyed this book. So again, there's a lot of stuff going on. You have the personal dilemma of Sascha, who is feeling too much so she doesn't get rehabilitated, and she has to hide it so she doesn't get rehabilitated. Now, rehabilitation means that they wipe her out. Everything about her is gone. Lucas is on the hunt for the side killer who is killing the female female changelings, which is, of course, peeving off the pack. Oh, the both packs. You have the Dark River pack, and then you have another pack of werewolves that are border or neighbors with this pack. And the thing that's really holding it down is that he's taking control of it, because one of his women was killed and the other one was not. Well, later on in the book, you have one of the women of the werewolf pack taken. And now the goal is, if she dies, they will start a war. And they will kill every side council member, every side they come across, in order to get revenge. So again, really brutal. And I absolutely love it. Not so much the brutality. Let me stand clear. I love the fact that she didn't sit there and essentially say they were giant puppy dogs, or kitty cats in some parts. I love the fact that the werewolves and the leopards are able to be true to who they are, because they are dangerous shifters. They're not puppy dogs. They're not kittens that are going to lay on your lap. They will brutally rip your face off. 'Tis what it is. But yeah, so again, absolutely enjoyed this book. I'm trying not to give too much away. I want this to be as spoiler-free as I can, which is why this review absolutely sucks. I think you've spent more time trying to look stuff up to remember what it was about than actually doing a review. So hopefully in post I will be able to do this. I'll be able to do credit to this book. Again, this was a 4.25 review. I absolutely loved this book. It's absolutely phenomenal. Highly, highly recommend to anyone who wants to have a really good read. Again, there is some steamy scenes, but it doesn't interfere with the story. There is maybe, it doesn't interfere with the story. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this review for Slave to Sensation by Nalani Singh. I will see you guys next time. Happy reading.